Day 35. So today I have a question for you. How grateful are you for the people in your life? Now, most people do say that and they talk about it, and they specifically seem to stay focused on your direct, family or people that you really interact with a lot, your best friends, your loved ones, etc. So that's important, and I want to talk about that, and we'll go ahead and do it now just to make sure that we get past it. But there is another group of people that I want to talk about even more. So with your friends and family, obviously it's important to be grateful for them. But the way I want you to kind of change your perspective is, do you look at them as just people that are there and you love them and you care for them? Or do you look at them as a reflection of you and people that you should be grateful for what they teach you and what they show about yourself and how they challenge you and how the dynamic of you and that other person, what it means? And that's an unusual way to kind of look at things. I mean, some of those points, do make sense. People do respect and, are grateful for people and how they challenge them, etc. But maybe there's a larger dynamic that you're not understanding about why that person's in your life. And maybe it's time that you sit down and ask yourself, or just, be present and watch it unfold and start to see that it's just, maybe there's a larger intelligence or thing that's happening there. Because if you look out in the universe and you look everywhere, those bodies of, let's say, planets, they're individual things floating in space, etc. But all of a sudden, there are other planets around, and they have a higher meaning. That meaning, like in our case, is a solar system, and then you get solar systems together, you get galaxies, etc. So from one perspective, it's just a body that comes around the moon that goes around the Earth, but there is some type of relationship between those two bodies. And in one perspective, you see it one way, and when you change your perspective, you see it another way. The moon affects the tides. The moon does other things for us. So I'm asking you to look at your life that way. And I'm trying to figure out ways to communicate exactly the way I want you to, but I think you probably get the gist of what I want you to do, and especially in the people that are directly in your life the most, and understand why they are there for you. Not why you are there for them, but why they are there for you. And it isn't a for you in a way of what they can do for you. Go make my food, go rub my back, go annoy the hell out of me, whatever it might be. It's actually what they can teach you. So the other group I want to talk about is the people that are maybe in your life, but not really there. They're the outside, maybe a coworker that's on another coast that you interact with some level. And how do they relate to you, and what's their purpose and your purpose together? And the reason I go into this is there's a new person that very likely is going to enter my dynamic. My dynamic for myself right now in this phase, and actually for a large part of my life, has been very kind of unnaturally coordinated in a way that the right people for me at whatever point I am come into my life. I have a smaller group of people I interact with. There are cases where I interact with large groups, but in an actual connection level or some other level that goes beyond just, hi, how are you? Just niceties, a closer interaction. And I've really noticed that those people were always there for very specific reasons. And there's a new person that's about to enter the dynamic at home. And if everything goes well, she'll be around for a while, helping out and everything. And I started thinking when we were talking last night, and I really got to thinking, what is your purpose here for me? And what am I going to learn? And it's really interesting, like with her, she's, has almost a PhD, psychology and a bunch of other things. So she's one of the smarter people I've come across. And unfortunately, she's changing her life, which I think is good for her in that way. But it has been a benefit, will be a benefit for me because of her previous experience in the psychology field. And we talked a lot about the challenge of getting people to change and considering the whole direction I'm trying to take my life. I've always dealt with trying to get people to change, but now I'm going to go more into it. And, even these videos are about you as a person, how you can get you to change. But I've turned it where I'm really just talking about myself, hoping maybe I can inspire or get you just to think a different thought. So that's today's message, is really think a different thought. And, like with her, what will it be? I don't know. I guess we'll see. If everything works out and she's here, she'll influence the videos, and it will give a different perspective. And it will be interesting to see why I'm there for her in her life, because the other people in the dynamic of the house and the situation I've been in, we've had a couple people that have come, and quite honestly, the ones that we connected to, not the, we had one case where one person was there for a little bit and there was no real connection. They were in and out, nothing. In this case, it's a different dynamic. It's going to be more connective. And the previous people that were more connective were actually there for a reason. One helped me refinance my house. Another gave another experience. And so it's going to be interesting what happens with this. I'm kind of excited. But I'll, again, finally, stop, focus, be calm, present, and just evaluate those that are really interacting with you at all levels and what they maybe speak to you that you haven't heard yet. So we'll talk later. Take care.